want to do more, it's not like we're saying, okay, we want to go to the next stage of institutionalizing, the community and maybe calling it build up learn. So during build up learn, you have the opportunity to like take courses, more structured courses. Now, this is not the entire academy, right? We have an entire academy where it's like a 6 months training program. After that, you get a job with an entire. But this one is like build up learn, where you can look more like an edutech startup, where you can now come to like learn, take courses, have mentors, do assignments, have a real curriculum of your course. We're working on that, but we really need feedback from every one of you so that we can make the product a very concrete one that works for you guys. And in the coming weeks, I'll be sending out some emails with a survey for you guys to like help me fill so that the product team knows how best to like structure the learning model for you. Do you want it to be physical? Do you want it to be online classes? How many hours can you commit to learning? And remember that it's something that is going to be like ALX, something that is going to be like odd score, even Audacity. So it's very serious. So, but we need your opinions and your feedback to like make it well structured, right? So some of you will be sent mails to, some of you will be called in for maybe one-on-one interviews just to like get your ideas since you probably be the user. So, and we're hoping that the beta stage we're able to give maybe scholarships to people to like learn and take few courses in the beginning stage. Then maybe some other people might have to pay for it. So we are hoping to launch that soon, and just to provide all of you with more value since it's something that was discussed even during build up. Yes, and of course you still get to get laptops in the maybe at the ending of your programs, but this one is just more detailed and much more advanced than just getting a laptop and going, or struggling to get into Enyata Academy. But this one you now have like build up and where you're like taking courses, you have an instructor, that, and it just makes so much sense. So if you have feedbacks, you can share on the call. If you have like if you or you wait till we send out the surveys, then you help me just fill it up. Then yeah, just fill it up. Then I can send it back to the product team inside the answer, and they're able to like couple it together and be able to build a good product that is usable for each and every one of us. Yeah, that makes sense. So one more thing, I dropped the questions earlier this week. Wanted to know how job hunting has been for each of you recently. What has been the stories that you guys have heard, or what have you gone through? You're looking for a job. This is how frustrating it has been. So if you're able to like find those that thread, please do well to contribute to your experience, because to help us also make informed decision on how to help you with your job hunting processes, right? So yeah, that's basically like all I wanted to say. So, and also welcome to another workshop session. Today we are discussing debugging in mobile app development. My name is Elzama Precious, community manager here at Enyata. And if you're just joining us for the first time, Enyata is a software engineering company. We also have the community arm, and yeah, that's where every one of us come in or fall into, right? But we have like a software firm, internal set of people that like work on products on a day-to-day basis at Enyata. Today we have one of our lead mobile developers here at Enyata, right? Her name is Uzoma, and she will be teaching us, how to do actual debugging in a mobile app development setting. So thank you all for coming. It's already 4 o'clock, and we just have 1 hour for Uzoma to like help us through this process. And I heard she's quite busy. She was, working on a hackathon, but she left it just to come share her knowledge with us. So without further ado, let's have some emojis, clapping emojis, for Uzoma. Hi Uzoma. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The floor is yours. You can go ahead and introduce yourself to the house. We're so excited to meet you. Hi. Oh, yeah, in the office.
Yes, I'm in the office. Just finished our pitch.
Wow.
Hi.
What are you working on? I
What?
guess what is your team working on?
We're working on a fintech app.
Everybody fintech. It's nice. All right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Uzoma. a mobile software engineer, and today I'm going to be showing you how to debug. So it's just going to be like a short practical session how to debug in mobile development. I didn't bring any slides to this project, so we're just going to go straight into doing it in Android Studio. All right. So before I start, first of, what exactly is debugging? Debugging, we all know, is simply finding bugs in your program and correcting them. So whenever you have issues or whenever you have errors in your software or in your program, we all know them to be as bugs. So the process of finding them, it's called debugging. And if we all know the usual way of debugging, if it's in web or mobile development, in web they'll tell you to do console.log, right? In mobile they'll tell you to print that print line if it's for Flutter or native sha. So okay, so let me share my screen now. Let me share. All right, so I have a project here open, something that I'm currently working on. I'll just show you a quick way to actually debug whenever you have issues. I don't know if you can see my screen. Please let me know.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so the first thing when it comes to debugging your mobile apps is to, instead of running your application as that's running the main.dat, this particular project is a Flutter project. So it's the same thing if you're using it for strictly native or for Flutter apps, right? It's the same process. So usually when you want to run your application to view and to see how you've been doing so far while development, you would click the green play button that says run main.dat. But when you want to run to debug, you have to click this button that says debug main.start. What this does is connecting your application to a debugger, the inbuilt debugger that Android Studio comes with, right? Most people do not know how to make use of this debugger, and it's something that can actually help you in finding out problems easily without having to print in so many lines and going through a whole lot of logs from your going through the whole logs when your application is running. This will help you find your problem or find the issue quickly and easily. All right, so let's run this application in debug mode now. All right, so while this is running, let me just give like a brief explanation of what the interface looks like. Yeah, so my left here we have the rerun. So this simply, like, if you made any change in your app while running it in debug mode and you'd like to like restart or refresh it, you simply click on this. Then this one, you don't really need it when you're debugging sha. Then this one that says resume program, there's something called a breakpoint in debugging or in a debugger. A breakpoint is the point where your application gets to and pauses. Meaning when I set a breakpoint, I will show you how to set a breakpoint in your application. All right. When I set a breakpoint, I want when my app gets to that position or that particular point in while when it's running, it should pause so that I can view. I want to see what is happening and what is causing the error at that stage. That's what this resume program, it will resume it after pausing. So this one pauses the program. This one stops the debugger completely. All right, let me log into the app and you can start. Okay. So currently there's a bug in this particular app and I need to find it and fix it. Yeah, so where the bug is here. When I come to sales. So yeah, so it's throwing an error here, right? Now I want to find out what exactly the error is. It's a UI error. If you understand Flutter, you understand what I mean. Has a saying incorrect use of parent data widget. So I want to find out what is causing it. Now this error is, as you can see on Android, is showing correctly, showing the empty state. There are no reviews. But on iOS, it's showing a blank screen, which should not be. It's also supposed to show this empty state, but it's showing a blank screen for iOS. So for us to be able to do that, I will come to this screen. So this is the screen now. Now I'm going to set breakpoints at different parts of the screen so I can be able to know what exactly or which widget is causing this error or which widget is having this issue. So I will, please let me know if you're following so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself alone because I can't see anything at all. I'm just seeing my system or I'm just seeing this Android Studio thing. All right, so I'm going to set a breakpoint here at the start of the empty state. That's the first breakpoint. Then I'm going to set a breakpoint at this point. Yeah. So where else? We're setting breakpoints at possibly or likely places where the error might have come from. So when you want to debug or when you have an error, you have to first of all know, okay, where is this coming from? Where is this error starting from? Or around which area is it happening? Or which screen is it happening? So you can set breakpoints at different points so that you can be able to manually navigate through and find out what the issue is. So I have this, then I'll set a breakpoint here. I want to go into this review tab item. All right. So let's set another breakpoint in this container and in this column. So I've done that. Now after setting a breakpoint, I don't need to restart the application again. I can always just go out of the page at this stage, yes. Then once I come back, the app is going to pause. Can you see that? Now the app has come to my first breakpoint, which is this. Now it's giving me information about everything that is happening at this stage, right? So I'm fetching data from the backend and I'm displaying it on this app. Now it's saying that the data, the message I'm getting from the backend is product reviews fetched successfully. but my data is empty. Can you see that? My data, the size is 0, meaning that I don't have any data at all. So meaning there are no reviews for that particular product, which is correct. But our issue here is that it's still throwing an error of incorrect use of parent data widget, right? So for us to be able to do that now, I'll have to now start, let's say looping through, like going line by line. You can decide to go line by line, or you can decide to just move to the next breakpoint. So this is where going to the next or looping through your code lines, you have to make use of the step over. So the step over is simply move to the next line, right? That's what step over means. So if I click the step over, no, sorry, the step into goes into the application. All right, let me switch to the next breakpoint. This is not working. Okay, sorry, please. I'll have to use one. Let me use an example that has data in it. Let me use the screen. Ending sales. I want to use an a screen that has data in it. And move to the next line. So the for me, if I want to see, hold on, please. Hold on. So future not completed. Okay, let's start it over again. All right, so for me to view, need to be able to see that is get sales money. I want to check what response my yes column. When I come here, I'll step over to the next line. step two. So step into is the one that is going a method that is being written or that is going into that method. So it's going to leave the screen and go into that method or confine what is happening there. Let's do
Her
this.
network freezing or is it just me?
So it's very tricky. Sha. Hold on. Can you see it in my screen? Or do I like in the network? It,
Oh, okay. That means she's having network issues. I actually thought maybe it was from my own end because it kept on breaking up. All right, I think she's trying to join back. Oh, you people should be talking. No, if you can't hear somebody, just type it so that she knows. So I guess she's having network issues. Then. Yeah, so let's just wait a few more minutes. If it doesn't work well, then we will probably maybe reschedule. Yeah. Hi, Alan. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
No, okay. So the instructor just left. I think she's having network issues. She'll be back shortly.
All right.
Okay, she's back. Hi, Zoma. Can you hear us now? You're muted. You're muted. Hello, you're muted if you're speaking.
I want to switch to my network
Oh, okay. Office
because
network. Yeah,
it's not.
I get. I'll just wait a few seconds, then she will get back on track. We apologize for the glitch, guys. So yeah, I think some other people joined after I've already like spoken about build up learn. So we are trying to institutionalize build up, make it like an actual institution where people can now go to school, go to take classes, depending on any course they want to. And you know how Ayanta does something, right? We're always out for the standard. We try to give as much standard as possible. If it's just 100 people we can take, we take in 100 people and we train them and make them, better developers than they were. We're not always about quantity. It's always about quality for us. So now that we've decided to do that, just bear in mind that you're going to get, serious learning. Zoma has joined back. Zoma, is your network good
I
now?
Yes, I think I'll have to turn off my camera. Maybe it's dragging.
Okay. Okay. You can just share your screen and maybe turn off your camera. I think that also works.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. So am I sharing my screen? Okay, I'm sharing already. All right. So to quickly explain the how the debugger works fully, I'll go back and restart it. So we're currently on a particular breakpoint, and for me to move to the next for me to move to the next line or to actually look through it, I'll make use of the step over. Like I said before, if I want to go into a particular method or a particular function in that particular line, I'll make use of the step into. If I want to come out of that function and go back to where I was coming from, I'll use the step out, right? Those are like the three important things that you make use of. And also resume program. So resume program is when your debugger is currently on a breakpoint, is actually being paused. Yeah, for you to now be able to resume or continue your program or go to the next breakpoint, you make use of the green this play button that this button that looks like a play button that says resume program, right? So when whenever you get to any breakpoint, you're able to see the current status of things on your screen on of that page at that particular point. Any value or any data that you want to that you would normally have to like do console.log or you want to print to it, instead of having to print it, you can just place a breakpoint on it and get the value at that particular stage, right? So at this point, we have on this screen, we have this string here, status. So if I want to find this, what status is currently holding at this point, now that my app is on the pause mode, all I just need to do is to come to this first line that says this, yeah, and for me to be able to reference the status at this point, I have to reference it using widget.status in Flutter. So for me to also be able to view it in my debugger, I have to come to widget and status at this point. The value that status is holding is completed, which you can now see at this point, right? So I now know that, okay, instead of me having to just print it, I can actually view what status is here without having to print. Then it comes up and shows me the other values. So empty state is null, has next stage is false, count is still one, load next stage is false. So I'm seeing everything, like all the values that are currently on this page or the data that is being used on this page. I'm seeing it clearly here. Okay, so that's one. Then for me to now view or for me to now see what I'm getting, because I'm calling an endpoint at this point, right? For me to be able to view it in Flutter, will make use of Riverport. If you use Riverport, you have to you understand what this means. You're reading the data from a particular provider after it's being called. So which breakpoint is it on? Okay. So I'll have to put a breakpoint here. Yeah, this is where I'm watching, or this is where I'm watching for that particular endpoint, which is in this line. So whatever value it gets for me, I'm using it in this code block. So when it is done, it should just pass the values into this line. If this is an empty state, this is the code for an empty state. Sha. It should return it, else it should return this widget, which is excuse me. So let's go to, I want to come to this breakpoint now. So I'll just click here. So I'm right now I'm on this particular breakpoint, right? So this is the error state, this is the loading state, and this is when it is done. So this is the empty state. I don't need this. And this is the widget. The widget is here. Okay, so the widget that I'm displaying or that I'm passing my data to is actually in this point. So for me to see my data set or view what I'm getting from the back end, right, I'll have to come down here and no, not listeners. It's calling. So okay, consumer. Hold on, please. This data. Let's go to done. Step into done. Okay, so my value, the from this data, it's showing that it's null. Yeah, it's showing that the done is equal to null. The done in this sense that the data is empty. So I'm not able to even see anything. I want to use something that has data. Why is everything just returning null, null like this? Oh, wow. But I don't know if you understand how to make use of a debugger. Like from what I've shown you, you can use it to view, can use it to view or to your variables, your mostly your variables, and also find where errors is. I wish I had a project that had like errors. I didn't prepare that. So that I've used that to that I've used the debugger extensively. There's so much to do. All right. So let's just step over. So we're going to return because this data is because done is equal to null to return a size box, meaning returning nothing. So at this point, once you see that it's now going outside of that particular screen, you just need to like come back. You click resume the program. It will go back to the next breakpoint. So you're in control of where the debugger may no carry you go where you know. So all right, to start all over, and think this point you should fetch it. So now we now have a response from the endpoint. So it has been able to make the call successfully, and it's now getting your data, which you can now see from here. Sales orders fetched successfully. So this is it. So this is all the information. So if you now want to find out, maybe for instance, in a particular view, maybe your package, for instance, the shipping fee is supposed to be 3,000, but what you're getting is this 2535. You'll be able to know that okay, what I'm actually fetching from the back end is 2535, even though what you're telling me is 3,000. So you're able to see it here clearly without having to do the print or do the console.log if it's for web shop. So you're seeing everything as it's coming from the back end. You're seeing all your data as it's coming from the back end, and you're able to know and pinpoint where the issue is coming from, right? So the debugger is actually going to help if you know how to use a debugger. The inbuilt debugger in Android Studio is actually going to help you a lot when it's time for you to start finding out problems and debugging your code. Okay, so I think that should be all for now. Don't know if you have any questions. Yeah, I precious.
Okay, thank you so much, Oge. Do you people have questions for her?
Not
Anything you wanted to or just like four people, I be 8 people in this call. So please do well to ask so that she could answer. She was actually working on a project and she needs to get back to it. All right. In the absence of no questions, no interaction, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Zoma, for like leaving your hackathon and your fintech products that you guys are building to like come join us on today's session. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, even though we had a lot of network glitch, but it was fine. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah.
Thank you for
And
having
I,
me.
yeah, thank you. Someone left me a question about the build up learn. All right, so it's different from the academy. Yata Academy is a 6 months program. You get to learn, then you get employed by Yata. But this is more like an edutech startup, a coding school actually. So we are not guaranteeing you employment with Build Up Learn, but there's this same learning model, more higher specs. That you get better offerings with Build Up Learn. You get maybe a laptop at the end, you get resources, you get mentorship and all of that. And it's open to almost everybody. For Answer Academy, it's usually like very few people that get into it. It's just like, let's say maybe 10 people that finally get into Answer Academy. So Build Up Learn is the future. So get ready for it when we launch. And I was saying that, yeah, we're going to be sending out surveys. So please respond to the surveys if you get any of them. If you also want to have a one-on-one call with me, with the team to like discuss what you think should be added to Build Up Plan, please do also reach out to me. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you all for joining. Have a lovely, lovely Friday. Enjoy your Friday. Make sure you take out time to like have fun for yourself, party, attend the wedding or something. Good luck and bye-bye. Bye everyone.